What is going on, friends? Matt Carter here, and today I'm going to be talking about something that maybe you've seen a lot in the news. It's been around for the last 3 years or so, but in the last couple months they have made some changes, and that is the First-Time Homebuyers Incentive Program run by the government. Before I get started today, make sure that you smack that like button, hit subscribe, and get notified for all my videos coming up in the future. And if you haven't been here before, it would be awesome if you could share this with anybody that you know who is looking to make a move in the next little while, could maybe benefit from any of this content. So make sure you check out the rest of my channel to see if anything resonates with what you're looking for, or anybody you know could benefit from any of those videos. So there are a few different first-time homebuyer incentives, if you want to call them that, in a variety of different ways. So if you are looking to buy a home for the first time, first and foremost, there is a first-time homebuyers incentive that actually lowers your land transfer tax by $4,000 for your first purchase. There's also a tax credit come tax season. You'll be eligible for a credit for that as well. But this first-time homebuyers tax or incentive actually has to do with your mortgage and how your mortgage is set up and your monthly payments. So, like I said, this has been around since 2013 and was run and started by the government to hopefully help out first-time homebuyers getting into the market, increasing their affordability and lowering their monthly payments. Debatable whether it's actually done its job, but I'm just going to run down the key things you should know about this program to find out if it is right for you. Sure, the answer is I don't think it is right for a lot of people, but I will let you make your own decisions. And before I get started with anything, I am a realtor or real estate agent. I am not a mortgage specialist. So make sure that if you are considering any of these programs or incentives, that you talk to a mortgage specialist at your bank or through a broker, whoever you're going through, to make sure that they properly explain everything to you and you can make the best decision possible. So right off the bat, what is the first-time homebuyers incentive? It is a shared equity mortgage plan, which these have been around for a while in the private sector, but now the government is offering it. And basically what it does is for a resale home, it offers 5% towards your down payment of your home. Towards a new build, it offers 10% towards that down payment. And you are required still to make that minimum down payment of 5%. So it would increase your overall down payment by either 5% or 10%, depending on what type of home you are purchasing. Essentially what that's going to do is lower your overall mortgage that you are applying for. You're still going to have that first primary mortgage that is set up, and then you're also going to have the shared equity mortgage separate from that first mortgage, but ultimately it will lower your overall monthly payments, your principal payment, your interest you're going to have to pay over the years, and overall just hopefully their plan is to save you a little bit of money. But the catch is with the 5% or 10%, whatever the government is participating with, they actually own equity in your home, which means they own 5% or 10% of your home. So what goes around comes around. When you do go to sell your house down the road, if your home has appreciated in value over the years, they still own 5 or 10% of your home, and you will need to pay them back that money proportionate to what your home then sells for. So who qualifies for this shared equity mortgage? Well, first, you can't have owned a home in the last 4 years. So you can either be a first-time home buyer or not owned a home in the last 4 years. You must also have a household annual income of under $120,000. That's between whoever is going to be on the title. So whether it's you and your partner, you and a couple family members, whoever it's going to be, less than $120,000. The total mortgage that the bank will lend you cannot exceed 4 times your annual household income. So if you're maxing out at that $120,000 for your annual household income, the maximum mortgage that you're going to get lent would be $480,000. And also, lastly, The total purchase price of the home cannot exceed $565,000. This includes the mortgage that the bank is going to lend you, as well as the total down payment that you are putting on the home, plus what the government is contributing as well. So those qualifications have been in place since 2019 when this program came out. But in May of this year, 2021, there were actually a couple of changes that were made because that they found that a lot of buyers in these large areas such as Toronto, Vancouver, and Victoria, BC, houses are really expensive there. So this program just wasn't cutting it to help first-time home buyers get into the market. So what they did was they increased your annual household income to $150,000, as well as your maximum mortgage amount can be 4.5 times your annual household income. It is to note that these changes only came into effect if you live in Toronto, Vancouver, or Victoria. So for 99% of the country, the original rules and restrictions are the ones that are still in place. So something to note if you are outside the GTA or the Vancouver area. So I just pulled up an example here that I found online through CMHC's website to go through a real life example here. So for this example, we are using a 25-year fixed rate mortgage at 3.6%, and those are going to be monthly payments for towards your mortgage. So as you can see, the annual household income for this situation is $118,000, which is underneath that $120,000, or since in this particular case, they're in Vancouver, they would be up at that $150,000. But for across the board, across Canada, you can use that $120,000 standard. So we are under that mark, which makes us eligible for the program. Also, you need to put a minimum of 5% down from your own pocket towards the home. In this example, they've put $30,000 down payment on the home out of their own pocket. If you were to put the bare minimum 5%, that would be $25,200 on a $502,000 property, such as the one in this example. So they are also buying an existing property. So this is a resale of a home, not a new build. So the shared equity mortgage program will contribute 5% towards the down payment, which works out to $25,100. So as you can see, looking at these numbers, comparing the shared equity mortgage against a traditional purchasing, you can see that the numbers do seem to work out pretty much in the favor of the buyer for the shared equity mortgage. Monthly payments are less, your interest payments are less over time, and you can see over the 25-year period, you're saving over $20,000 over in your monthly payments. Sounds pretty great. But when you do go to sell that property, let's say that you sell after 25 years and you stay in there long term. Homes generally tend to appreciate. Real estate has been a good investment over the years, so let's just assume that real estate is going to keep appreciating over time. Now, it's not to say that real estate won't drop a little bit. It definitely happens, but historically, real estate has been a fairly good investment over the long term. So let's say that a house appreciates in value from the $502,000 that you purchased it for up to $700,000. When you go and sell that home, and if you get exactly $700,000 for that home, you still owe 5% of that shared equity mortgage that the government owns in equity in your home back to them at the end of the day. So you're going to have to cut a check, theoretically, for $35,000 to the government because of their stake in your home. So really, while you are saving $20,500 over 25 years in monthly payments, you are ended up having to reimburse the government, pay out at the end of the day an extra $15,000 net, which otherwise you could have in your pocket. Now, you can look at this in one of two ways. For some people, they'll say like, hey, at the end of the day, what's $15,000 if I've been saving some money along the way? But also, if you can afford to spend the extra little money and you don't necessarily need that subsidy from month to month, it's not really in your best interest to have shared equity in your home. So my takeaway at the end of the day, if you are considering a program such as this, or you're a little bit short on what you'd like your mortgage to be, maybe consider some other options before going down this road unless you really need to. So one of the things I would consider would be maybe asking a family member or a parent to co-sign on a mortgage in order for you to get slightly more money from the lender, which could increase your buying power. Also, and I think this is the most important piece of advice, if you are not qualifying for what you would like to be purchasing, then maybe you should be saving money for a little bit longer in order to pay for it out of pocket, to make sure that you're financially stable and financially sound before getting yourself into a huge investment like a home without knowing the consequences and ramifications down the line. You can find more information on the CMHC shared equity mortgage down below in the description. I will make sure I post it there for you to do some reading. There's a whole lot of more material on their website and a lot more examples for you to go through. It may be right for you. You may be one of those buyers that do benefit from this program. But personally, I haven't had any clients that have used this program. I don't believe I know anybody that has used this program yet. So not to say it doesn't work, but I do believe there should be some improvement, and there is room for improvement on this program, whether it's through the government or other means to help first-time homebuyers in this market and try to become homeowners. So let me know what you think below in the comments. I'd love to hear what people think. If you use this program, what do you think of it? If you're considering it, let me know. What are the pros and cons for you specifically? I'd love to hear what you have to say. And of course, if you know anybody that could benefit from this, is thinking about using this program, make sure you pass it along to them, and so they are informed. And of course, before you go, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and get notified for all my videos coming up in the future. And until then, take care.